Thanks, Neil. A lot of speculation. Graham mentioned that before the game about Clark and as to the problems he's had this week.
Be a corky, Bruce, for sure. I mean, if you're going to reach at the ball like that with those leggings, it's definitely a corky.
Smart. Kingsley to Carr. Kicked 3 last time. Good kick. Wanganeen kicked 6 last time on the burst.
Well, good instinctive movement then from Adam Kingsley. That's the difference. It's to release Carr and the lead of Wanganeen. Ben Hale had no chance. Interesting the way he takes this chest mark, Tony. He didn't really hug it. He sort of more or less wrapped his arms around it.
So Wanganeen should go. Kicked it carefully and he's put it through. Rashudo Wanganeen kicked the early goals. Stenglein, just a little wobbly one. What a good player Stenglein's been this year. Mead versus Perry. Schofield getting busy immediately. Little kick is a good one to Dew, who's prominent early, getting plenty of the footy.
Yeah, centering's dangerous though into the breeze.
Keeps it low and hard. Tredrea, well done. Nilly. Bassett front spot. Franco's give. Wanganeen, 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 you little beauty. So Franco in the heart of the centre square against Bickley. Kick wide. She's not a bad kick. Schofield's worked hard here. Howard has just come onto the ground. Stenglein, Howard, Jarman's come down to the back line. Howard's little kick in board to Kingsley. It's about 60 metres from goal. Pops it up to Corns. Stevens, well done, Corns. Held his down. Free kick anyway. One way or the other.
That's an excellent piece of play by Chet Corns. Just held Stevens out.
So Cockatoo Collins changed his boots here.
Did he slip or did he ask to do that? I hadn't seen a player slip, but...
He kicked well last week, Corns.
We had a terrific game, but he and Tredrea both marking plays inside 50 important today.
This is the area in his game that he'll work very hard on over the next few years. He's kicked 10 goals, 18 this year. It's a good kick, he's kicked it. An important goal.
Well, it was an important goal for him for a couple of reasons. Firstly, his goal kicking hasn't been his strength, and he would realise he'd want to make up for the turnover deep in the forward pocket a couple of minutes ago. But more importantly, it drags Port Adelaide back to 3 goals into the breeze. It hasn't really... Well, Adelaide haven't put the game beyond doubt yet, which, given their start and given their impression they're making around the ball, they may have done.
Interesting also that Tredrea playing deep on the full forward line. Chet Corns being given a whole lot of space around that top of the 50-metre area. That's when I think he plays best.
Jarman, Paxman, well played Paxman, terrific stuff. Mead, here's a chance, here's a real chance. James,
wide.
To Brogan, just under Nick Stevens, even better. Lovely kick to Harwood, got him, terrific mark. They've got players everywhere here.
Primus by himself.
Goes wide, finds Francis. Gee, Bickley and Edwards' turnovers are pretty important there. Adelaide had them on toast.
Geez, Primus has been in space for well over a minute. Port Adelaide just had to move the ball forward quickly, find the big man on his own.
I think I'd rather have Fabian Francis from there, though, Tony, wouldn't you?
This will tell a tale. He won't miss if they've got a chance. Leans back, kicks it, and kicks the goal. So that's interesting, Curls. Biglands comes on, Johnson goes off, they keep the tools on.
That's a strange one.
Well, I reckon they want Marsh forward and maybe Biglands goes for Primus. There's the kick to half forward, Wakeland. Franco, brilliantly done. Franco to James, good kick. Here's a chance, Primus and Marsh. Primus did well, Marsh is injured. Primus brilliantly, Corns will kick a goal. Porter coming back.
Darren Jarman, just the one possession for the game.
Hasn't been in a lot of contests, has he?
No.
It's not as if he's out of form. He just hasn't really been in a lot of contests. Franco getting a good touch to Montgomery. Port getting on top, I think. Kick the centre half forward. Bassett versus Tredrea. Bassett belts it away. Porter everywhere. Stevens, Francis. He's a wonderful kick. He's in the pocket, leans back and puts another one through. Here they come. They're running over the top of Adelaide at the moment, 6-9.
Well, it's just opened right up for Port Adelaide. We talked about the dispute contests and Crows getting numbers to the ball. Also, the Crows players running forward of the play. Port Adelaide is starting to do that now, and no better player to be doing that than Francis and Stevens, who are both involved in that movement. Francis just terrific from around the 50-metre area on goal. He's the player, along with Stevens and Schofield, who are the ones that get Port Adelaide pushing forward. Certainly doing that now.
Gallagher with a big job on Francis here.
Gallagher's had plenty of the ball, but Fabian Francis has been so important in these last 10 minutes.
Franco continuing to mount up, isn't he? He's got 13 possessions as well. Centre break's important. G. Clark goes straight at Brogan. It's been a good move by Mark Williams with Brogan. Kingsley, Port really on fire here. A miss by Schofield inside the range. Treadray, great handball. Stevens has got Cockatoo Collins. He uses him. Cockatoo Collins over the top, and the captain kicks the goal. Here they come. They're coming hard.
I think Mark should have been a bit more prudent, but
it's a difficult one for a player, though. I mean, in that situation, it looks like he comes off the line. It's sure prudent and wait, but that instinctive decision, do I go and didn't I? Mark Bickley made it.
Wanganeen short to Treadray.
Might cost him a goal.
Treadray goes short to Primus. This is interesting. Now, Primus from 25 versus Treadray from 50.
I think I'd take Matty Primus from here, but just watch this again with Gavin Wanganeen. He gets up, moves off. Mark Bickley right there. He says, no, he played on. He played on.
Well, his first movement was side, and then I thought he was going back when Bickley got him. Anyway, here's Primus. The captain's kick one. The captain has kicked two. Well, he and Paxman Newell came into the game with a few problems, so the Prez, Bruce Lynn, will chase that up for us as Bishop at half-back, almost up to centre wing. Sells a dummy. He was a good player last week, Bishop, in a cameo-type role. Adelaide doing well at half-back, but chance here for Harwood. Little kick's a good one. Guerra to run onto it. The bounce important. Well, he should have got rid of it in a hurry, and he didn't. Now Adelaide are in trouble. Oh, that's interesting. Primus a third goal. What a handball by the Crows. There's a lot at stake in this city when these two teams play each other, particularly today with the repercussions at the end of the day on the ladder. Been a great game so far. Both supporters have had lots to cheer about. Let's see how it unfolds. Primus looks dangerous to me. What a quarter he had. 3 goals in that second term. Inboard to James. James' handball okay. To Nick Stevens. Stevens, little left footer. Good one to Treadray. Got it.
There was a good move by Nick Stevens because everyone expected him to spin onto his right. But he's deceived them all. Gone onto his left. Gets the high fives from Fabian Francis. Maybe that's a bit premature, but spun onto his left, and a nice little jinking left foot. Byron Treadray very good at ankle level.
It's about the same angle as he had last week, probably 5 metres further out when he kicked the winning goal against the Bombers, isn't it?
Different breeze, though.
He's been good, Treadray. He hasn't kicked a goal so far, but I thought he had a very good first half. Wasted a couple of balls deep in the second quarter. Kick, pretty good. Port get the first one. So that means that Port Adelaide has kicked 7 of the last 8 goals in this match.
And the player who was instrumental in that movement was Primus and Nick Stevens. Primus, of course, had a poor first quarter, come back well at full forward in the second. Looks sharp early. Nick Stevens had a quiet start early, but he's come into the game nicely. 12 possessions. I still think he's a player that Gary should put Stenglein or Robert Shirley on to try and cut him out of the game. He covers the lines. A dangerous player.
He's going to come to Chad Corns, who's made a long lead. So Stevens and Corns. Stevens tries to wrap him up. Corns' front spot did well. James's little kick could be important here. The Crows needed to go out, and it's not going to. Now Dew's on. Schofield's got Dew. He's going to go to him now. He'll kick to Dew. It's a lovely kick. It's wonderful football. It's a goal. Porter in front. But then comes again. Gets it out. Porter starting to get on top. Schofield, James, Nick Stevens, they're running forward hard, the midfield now. They're stretching Adelaide's legs. Stevens sets it up. Primus and Treadray. What a mark. We talked about him before the game, being the outstanding big forward on the ground. And he's about to kick a second goal in the third quarter here.
Well, the ball's into the breeze, so it sits up nicely for him. He gets the jump over Nathan Bassett, who always plays in front. And tantalisingly just takes it with the fingertips on the second grab. It nearly got away from him, but he just drew it in.
Port need this goal because they're so far on top in general play. We're right behind him. He's got it. Important clearance here. Here's Wanganeen. He was in the right spot.
He throws his chest at it, doesn't he? Arches his back.
Doesn't look fully fit. He's looked like he's still got a bit of a limper. Late goal here would really hurt the Crows. Schofield wide. Kingsley found it. Paxman's on, and he's got to find him. So who's the Crow forward who hasn't picked up Paxman?
That's brilliant play by Kingsley.
Yeah, we'll see him. Is it Scotty Welsh?
He saw Paxman free, just put the ball around the corner for a beautifully weighted kick. Paxman pushing forward, not being picked up by his direct opponent.
What a day he's had. Montgomery and Franco in their 100th game today. What a match, Paxman. He's had Jarman drag from the field. He could kick a huge goal here, and he has kicked the biggest goal of the match so far.
Oh, and how important. Siren goes.
Biggest goal of the match. Port Adelaide have kicked 10 of the last 13. Adelaide Crows are on their knees. Port have got them just where they want them.
It was a tough quarter, and Adelaide threatened to score goals, but they just couldn't. And every time Port Adelaide went forward, they were just able to get some efficiency for their effort.
This is a clinical, very, very good side, Port Adelaide, we've seen here this afternoon. They were down and out early, fought back hard.
Kicked 4 goals to nothing in that quarter. They look like they're winners at this stage.
Open their forward line up, and Jarman's their best chance of kicking a winning score. They've got to create space for him.
Vardy on the bench, Jarman back on. Last-ditch effort from Gary Ayres. Marsh doing the ruck work. James out of the centre. Gets a long kick inside the 50. Stevens did well. Schofield read it brilliantly. The handball to Treadray. To Cocky. He's going to kick it. Is he? He will. Port again. They're racing away, Port Adelaide.
Roger James out of the centre was really important. The ruck contest was ineffectual. It was a high ball to centre-half forward, just the contest. But Roger James hunts it. Quick kick. And just the contest under the ball by Stevens and Corns. And Schofield, quick hands, Cockatoo Collins bounces it, loses it. Whoa. But good enough to get it back. He's pretty happy. He hasn't been his happiest game, or his best game, should I say, but he's been effective.
Schofield's positioning as a front and centre half-forward flanker was absolutely perfect. He read that ball beautifully well. And we shouldn't write the Crows off yet, but we're seeing a big difference in terms of flexibility and numbers that you've got in your midfield area to be able to control a game.
Interchange for Adelaide. Clark, Smart, Vardy, Gallagher.
So I wonder if any of those players can play any sort of a role. Primus works it forward. Josh Carr, Cockatoo Collins. He's got it. Cocky's got a second one. Schofield. Port can't go defensive here. I'm not suggesting now at the moment, but they're slow to move, aren't they? Back to Treadray. They've gained nothing, really.
Well, you may as well hit the goal square, surely. Just hit the goal square. You've got the breeze behind you. Put the pressure on Adelaide's defence.
Going to kick it wide. Corns a target. Corns a target. Corns takes a terrific mark.
Well, it was clever play by Port Adelaide, and at some stage they were going to drive the ball out in the space, long and direct. But they just slowed the play down, took the sting out of the momentum that the Crows had, and now this goal just takes all that momentum out of the Crows.
He's kicked 39 goals in his career. I doubt whether he's had a bigger kick.
Thanks for that. Just what the father wants to hear.
This to give Port Adelaide a big lead. He's got it. He's kicked 3. And they win showdown 10. But I reckon Adelaide are going to take so much from this game in the last 4 matches, and Port now a real chance to finish in the top 4 and maybe the top 2. Carr's kick. Belted away by Smart. That's it.
Well, relief more than anything for Mark Williams. It's so tough to come up after a huge win as they had last week. Adelaide lose nothing other than the points in this contest. They'll lament the fact the game got away from them when they had so much control of it. But Port Adelaide keep marching on, and you'd have to say, Tony, almost Adelaide's season, I think.